Well, happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to Let's Discuss. Hey, I know I haven't been on every day, but um, and there are so many things that we could discuss, but sometimes everything becomes slightly overwhelming, and it doesn't feel like a lot of people want to discuss things. You watch social media and people continue to spew um, hate and very, very, very strong opinions. Um, and it feels like people aren't thinking. And that is going to wind up being very devastating for you and me and our country. We have a lot of things that we need to think about. And as I have said in many of these videos, if you go back and look, our elections in November are going to be incredibly important. We really are. I mean, you hear it so often about being at a turning point, but I really think that this election, we've been in a pivot from a democratic republic to more of a socialist state. That's my opinion. But it's also backed up by the facts. Um, when you have more and more administrations, presidential administrations, um, uh, putting out executive orders instead of having things voted on in the Congress, as is part of our democratic republic. Um, as we have more and more of the DOJ um, not holding everyone accountable under the law. We had the Attorney General doing a speech in the last week about how his people are threatened and how they don't have any biases. But the facts are the facts. And some people get prosecuted for breaking laws, and some people do not for the exact same laws. Some people are charged, some people are not. That's not blind justice. That's not the way that our democratic republic has been run for the last 240 something years, right? Um, I, in this discussion, and as always, I encourage and ask for your feedback. How many of you, regardless of what political side of the aisle that you're on, how many of you are listening to the rhetoric versus looking at what candidates have actually done or not done? Um, you can tell me all day long that you're for the people and you care about the people and you want the best for the people. But if I look at your voting history and your voting history is about strengthening the government's control over the people, that doesn't sound much like you are for the people, unless your mindset is that you know better than the people on how they should run their lives. Um, I think we have a distinct difference in the political viewpoints um, that are out there, and you have people who absolutely believe the government is the answer to all your problems, and they can solve all your problems as long as you do what they tell you to do. Um, and then we have people out there that believe you and I are smart enough to actually lead our own lives. I am one of those that believes you and I and the vast majority of the voting electorate is smart enough to run their own lives, to live their own lives. Um, we haven't slid completely into a socialist state yet, but this election will determine which direction that we're going, whether we are going to continue down this path of socialism or whether we are going to have the democratic republic that has made this country so amazing, has made this country a place where people risk their lives to get here. Um, I want to put out a plea. Look at what people have done, not what they say. Seen so many political ads, most of them, and by the way, it's on both sides. Both are littered with half truths or outright lies. Um, Many of them spew hate, that perpetuate the hate that's in our system right now. That's in that's in our social media right now. And regrettably, and I think it's honest to say this. It doesn't matter what news outlet you watch, be it, you know, the socialist news outlets, ABC, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, or the right-leaning outlets like Fox News. Their news is biased. All of them are biased. They have an agenda and they're telling a story to put across an opinion or a point of view. And it actually falls upon you and I to actually go back and look at what have people done. You can't watch the news to get a true list of facts because the doesn't matter where you look, they're spewing an opinion. You and I are smart enough, you and I are intuitive enough not only to know how we want to lead our lives, and we have the absolute ability to do that, but along with that comes that term that I've said before is being erased from our lexicon. You have personal responsibility. You have personal responsibility to read the book and not just the cover. If we continue to just listen to the rhetoric and vote based on the way we feel about what somebody says instead of what they actually mean by what they say, because you can tell me, and this is going to sound biased, but I have to say it. You can tell me about opportunity economy all day long, but for the last 3.5 years, I haven't felt like I've been in an opportunity economy. Um, the candidate that is using that as a slogan voted, was the deciding vote in some of the very damaging economic decisions that the government has made in the last 3.5 years. Those votes, the votes for the uh, uh, Inflation Reduction Act, which pumped up inflation, dumped money into the market, caused the cost of your food to go up. I love the fact that they keep talking about a 20% increase in groceries. I'm not sure where they shop because my groceries have gone up a hell of a lot more than 20%. Some of the staples that we buy every week have doubled in price. So, you know, look at the facts. Take personal responsibility to read about the facts. I was I was playing golf with a good friend of mine the other day, and love him to death. He just retired and has absolutely bought into the rhetoric about. I'm using this as an example, but it can go both ways. So please don't take it as bias. Okay. But he has totally bought into this hatred for Trump. He hates Trump. And I asked him why. And it was about the things that Trump says. And I said, well, okay, but what has he done that makes him a bad presidential candidate? Were things better for you 4 years ago? Oh, yeah, things were a whole lot better for us. So you're retiring. You're going to be, on a set income from your investments. If prices continue to skyrocket, inflation continues to go up, fuel prices continue to go up, how's that going to affect you? Well, it's going to hurt. Okay. So why would you want more of that? Well, I hate Trump. I hate Trump. Okay. So don't invite him over for dinner. Look at the facts. This is somebody whose main income is going to be based um, on capital gains because he's done very well and he has absolutely used the free market capitalist system that we have enjoyed for a long time, for 240 years. He has used that system to do very well in life. But if capital gains go up 40%, because they want to go from 20 to 28% on capital gains, guess what? That affects his retirement. It affects your life and my life as well. And so I know I've taken a lot of time in this little uh, video, but I cannot emphasize enough. And this isn't just for the presidential candidates, this is for the entire downline ticket. Look at how people have voted. Many of the people running aren't coming from nowhere, they have some political office now. Look at their voting record. Does their voting record agree with what you want? If you want a socialist country where the government tells you what to do, then by all means, look at their voting record and go, yeah, I want more of that because I don't want to have to think or do anything. I just want to be told what to do. Or if you want freedom and you want a democratic republic, then you need to look at the voting records and have they voted to give you more power and to take government out of your life. It's not that hard to find it. It's not that hard to find it, but you have to take personal responsibility to know the facts. Read the book, not just the cover. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. I look forward to hearing back on this video what you think and your opinions. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if somebody's voting record and the things that they have done isn't important. Um, because I think your deeds say a lot more about you, what you want, and where you're going than what you say. Words are cheap. Take some personal responsibility. Have a great weekend, and God bless.